Hello, wonderful people. I'm Gail Cruz from Wonderbot Animals. And here is a man is viciously attacked by a strange creature in his driveway. Before we begin, make sure to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification button for more amazing videos. Snap-second instincts keep you on your toes and save us from situations that may be life-threatening. When those synapses in our brains start firing, we subconsciously take control of a situation before realizing what's actually going on. And they've been saving our lives since, well, forever. When Colorado resident Randy Kirshen was working at his next-door neighbor's house, he never imagined he'd need to fall back on those ancient reflexes. But one second he was engaged in friendly banter, and the next he was fighting for his life. Randy Kirshen and his family lived together in Fort Collins, Colorado, where he and his wife made decent money and always looked out for each other. But it wasn't work that drew Randy to the Midwest. Randy was a passionate outdoorsman, and Fort Collins was especially scenic. He knew he could carry out a peaceful existence there and give his kids a safe place to grow up. He felt that way for a long time. You might think someone who spent so much of his time outdoors would eventually run into dangerous situations, but Randy was always cautious. However, as he learned, sometimes trouble finds you. Early one afternoon, Randy was in a client's driveway cutting shower tiles for a project he was preparing to tackle. A few minutes into his work, a UPS van pulled up. The driver, Alex Rodriguez, stepped out and began to chat with Randy. He was there to deliver a package to the homeowner, but Randy was the first person he saw. While they were talking, Randy thought he saw a quick-moving shadow out of the corner of his eye. At first, he thought nothing of it, until he turned his head to see what it was. The shadow he saw out of his peripheral vision wasn't some random object. It was a mountain lion, and the beast was staring directly into Randy's eyes. It took a split second for the realization to kick in, and then the animal attacked. "All I keep remembering is that face and those beady eyes looking at me," Randy recalled in the tense moment. "And I knew he was trying to kill me." In a split second, Randy steeled himself. "When I saw him with his claws out and his face coming at my face," Randy said, "I put my arm up and then felt this immense pain. And that's the last pain I felt." The predator was clamping down on his arm with immense force. So Randy fought back. "I got angry," he said, "and I was hoping to grab a hold of his neck, choke him, and slam his head to the ground until he quit moving. It was going to be me or him," Randy said. Meanwhile, Randy and the lion tussled in the driveway. Rodriguez snuck back to the truck. There, he grabbed a wooden plank, returned to the fight, and struck the animal hard with his best home run swing. Miraculously, the mountain lion immediately sprang up from his attack on Randy after being struck with the wood. But he ran off into the backyard, hopped the fence, and continued on his path of destruction. Law enforcement was called to apprehend the wild animal, but once police tracked the cat down, he was ready for battle. The cat was filled with rage when it ran off, and his next victim was a Larimer County Sheriff deputy. That officer, Michelle Ross, was immediately pulled to the ground by the cat's jaws. He tugged and pulled at her until finally another officer was able to roundhouse kick it in the head. Then wildlife officials shot the predator dead. Ross was interviewed afterwards along with Randy so they both could talk about the horrific incident they endured. Even though they lived in Colorado, they never encountered a situation like that before. The officer was lucky to have a team of people around her, unlike Randy. The 91-pound cat could have done way more damage if she were alone, regardless of her bulletproof vest. Immediately after the attack on Randy, he was brought to McKee Medical Center in Loveland, where they treated the wounds the cat inflicted upon him. Workers then discovered something about the cat that made the attack far worse. The animal tested positive for rabies. Rabies can be deadly if untreated, so it was imperative that Randy was given all the proper medication. Luckily, doctors got to him in time, but he was still suffering. After the attack, Randy, who had never before seen a mountain lion in the wild despite 20 years of hiking and fishing, needed therapy to help him recover. "He's definitely mentally strong," his daughter Sydney said. "I know he will get through it." A GoFundMe page was set up to cover Randy's hospital expenses, and people from all over pitched in to help.